This is a Heart and Hand production.
Hello folks, my name's David Edgar. I'm the host of Heart and Hand, the Rangers podcast, and I'm joining you from an emptying Ibrox after Rangers threw away 2 more points this season with a 2-2 draw at home to Dundee United. And it was a game of 2 halves for Rangers under interim boss Stevie Smith, in which we saw a Rangers team in the first half that was very good indeed. Was a goal up, should have been more, could have been more. Second half, nothing at all. As soon as a bit of pressure was applied, they went into their shells, a lot of them, as they tend to do, and it was only a late James Tavernier goal that rescued a point for Rangers. Rangers today under Stevie Smith, it was hard to know what we were going to get, but we actually did get a good first half. In the first half, Rangers got on the front foot early, were working hard, were pressing high up the park and doing very, very well indeed, dominating the match. In the first 20 minutes, didn't make a lot of clear-cut chances, but we're certainly the better side. And then when we did take the lead, it was a beauty. Tello Asgard played a nice 1-2 out in the wing with Jaidi Gassama, cut into the box, beat 2 Dundee United men, and then lashed a dip and finish right into the top corner. It was a stunner and Ibrox was delighted by it. And at that point you thought Rangers were going to go on, and we did after that have a lot of pressure, forcing a couple of saves from the Dundee United goalkeeper. Totally dominant in that first half. 23 shots I believe Rangers had, but we couldn't get that second. Second half though, Rangers came out and the lethargy was back, the slow performances, the kind of nervousness, and of course then that ramped in round the stadium, which had been very supportive in the first half, we have to say, of the players. And you know, you got the feeling, we've seen this before, and sure as fate, Dundee United got an equaliser. Ball over the top, which is Rangers' bête noire. Eventually came out to Trapnowski in the edge of the box, and he's drilled a good finish home, to be fair, from 20 yards. And a few minutes later, it was 2-1. Craig Sibbald again lashed a beauty into the top corner. On the one hand, you can feel sorry for yourself and say, well, that's, you know, Falkirk was the same. These boys are putting it in stunners against us. You can defend them better. Nobody near Sibbald. He's got all the time in the world to measure that shot and lash it into the top corner. And at that point, Rangers looked done and out of ideas, but we did get an equaliser, a nice layback from substitute Mikey Moore, and onto it was James Tavernier, who calmly swept it home for 2-2. Rangers, though, couldn't fashion that final chance. In fact, Dundee United in the 97th minute almost did. They had the best chance of injury time. Look, we're a bin fire. There's absolutely no way to describe Rangers as anything other. The points that were made today with banners, first of all from the Union Bear section, and then a big one up there in the Govan Sandy Jardin, said it all. Rangers have been badly managed so far this season, and now that Russell Martin is gone, then the focus of that correctly moves to those making the decisions at Rangers. Kevin Thelwell, again, the Yusuf Chermiti deal, £8 million for a guy who doesn't look ready anywhere close to it at the moment, is one that should be under the microscope. You would hope the owners have got it under the microscope. Patrick Stewart just hasn't impressed at all in their job, and there's no doubt that their connection, if it ever existed with the Rangers fans, has been severed now. It appears that Kevin Muscat is a leading candidate for Rangers, and while I think he'd make a good manager, I do worry about the fact that potentially he wouldn't be here to November the 22nd, because, as I say, we're a raging bin fire. By the time he comes, God knows what state it could be in. This Rangers team is mentally weak, there's no doubt about that, and people might try and say, well, they came back to get an equaliser. They do that. They do it 2-1 or 1-0. They go for it and they push because it's desperation. They can't hold leads. Falkirk, they had the lead, didn't hold it. Livingston, although we got the last minute winner, they had a lead and didn't hold it. We've seen it far too often this season from them, and the evidence is there, the collective evidence is there about too many of them. So whether it is Kevin Muscat eventually, whether it is someone else, whoever come in has got a hell of a job, because this squad of players to me just look as though they wilt in the pressure cooker, and this place is an absolute pressure cooker. That will never change. So they've got to adapt or they've got to ship out. But right now, the situation we're in is pretty damn grim, and a point at home to Dundee United, making it, by the way, just 5 wins in 18 matches this season, I think tells you the sorry situation that Rangers find ourselves in at the moment. Anyway, we'll unpack this a lot more over on Heart and Hand. If you go to patreon.com/Heart and Hand, you'll hear more from me and the team there. Thank you very much for listening, and if possible, try and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.